I never know how to start these, so I just usually, start talking. This isn't coffee, by the way, it's hot chocolate. I'm a woman of culture. Also, I kept the last one that I had of these so that I could journal with it. And then I realized that this one had a comic inside. So I have to replace the one that I have in my like ephemera box. Also, I got to meet the guy that made La Borinqueña comics, so that was fun. I'm assuming if you read the title to this video that you already know what it's about. It's about me going to Comic-Con. But it's not just about me going to Comic-Con. It's about me getting ready for Comic-Con in less than 2 months, 42 days to be exact. So since I had this last minute opportunity, I thought it would be a good idea to sort of document my progress. So I have footage of pretty much all the way from March 4th to immediately after the convention happened, because as of the day that I'm filming this, it has now been an entire week since Comic-Con officially began. Today is Friday, and I'm really excited to talk about what I learned and what I can absolutely do better next time, and to just talk about how it happened because it was really fun. Yesterday, I checked my email around like 5 p.m. because I had to send myself something. If not, I would not have checked my email that day, so that's kind of interesting. And when I opened it, basically I got into Puerto Rico Comic Con, which is insane to me for many reasons. One is that when I signed up, when I applied to get into Puerto Rico Comic Con, I had applied months ago because originally it was going to be in January, and honestly, I didn't even think I was gonna get in there anyway. I didn't think I was gonna get in. The spaces were mostly full. I had never done a convention like that before. The closest thing was a student-run thing that I did years ago, and I haven't done a con since. I've done maybe like a festival or two that wasn't that serious. A convention is serious, especially something like Comic-Con. And I applied, and I only had like 4 pieces that I thought would sell when I uploaded that. And then obviously I didn't get in, and then it got postponed anyway. So like Comic-Con was out of my mind. I completely forgot about it. I didn't even think I was gonna go to just be there as a person either, like just to hang out. I didn't think I was gonna go, and I'm in it now. And it was because I was on the wait list basically, and someone got out. I don't have that long. I only have 40 something days to get ready for Comic-Con. Comic-Con is gonna be the 15th to the 17th, and I have till April 15th to figure out what I'm gonna do. So I have to get my butt in gear, and I have to figure out what I'm gonna take. I thought, it's such a big deal, and I don't have that long to get ready for it, that it would be like an interesting thing to look at. I have to get ready, so I think for the next week, I'm just gonna try to figure out everything that I can. I'm gonna try to call them for any extra information. I'm gonna see if I can find other artists who have done that specifically here, if they have any tips. I have a bunch of videos on YouTube ready to go for what I can and can't do or shouldn't do. And I have so many ideas for new art, which I do think is kind of funny. Of all days to get told that I'm going to essentially be at Comic-Con, it happens to be on the week that I've decided not to draw so that I can rest my wrist. I don't think that's happening anymore, because I have so many new ideas that if I can get done in time, it's gonna be amazing, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm also incredibly nervous, so we're gonna see what happens. I'm gonna try to figure out like a schedule, what I can do. I have a bunch of sticky notes on my wall right now of possible things to bring that I already have, and things that I could make better, and things that I just basically have to make. And I have a little button maker. I don't know if I want to put myself through the whole making a bunch of buttons in time for that, but you know, why not? Because it's not like I can do tote bags or giant posters where, you know, time is of the essence and I need to figure everything out like now. I need to figure out generally decor, how many things I have to bring, extra expenses, like I don't know about food or where I'm gonna stay because it's so last minute, but I'm really incredibly excited. I think I'm gonna try to figure out art that I've already made, what is worth it to print as prints or as stickers. I'm gonna try to make some new art. I already have ideas in this noggin of mine, but I've been trying to only work on working hours, so I stopped myself from doing any of that yesterday so that it's on the docket for just this whole week so that I can figure everything out, because the sooner I get that done, the sooner I can make those prints and the sooner I can get stuff. Basically, heard about it here. It is now Friday and I have till the 15th and 17th of April to get everything in order. Most of my to-do list is basically gone now because I obviously didn't think I was gonna be at Comic-Con by next month, so I have to decide what I genuinely care about doing this month, and hopefully that doesn't take away from the stuff I gotta do in just a few days. I think I counted, it was like 42 days to get ready. So it's March 7th, and I've been trying to sort of get myself in order and really rest because I think I overwhelmed myself for a multitude of reasons. You know, because the time is, it's a time crunch, but I think I feel much better about it today. I was worried, however, about getting prints done in time and getting stickers done in time, but I found several websites that do printing that do ship here, and in case all of that goes wrong, I'm gonna try maybe Office Depot or FedEx, but that is a last minute thing if nothing goes right. And I ordered the sample packs from these places so that I could print at home and see if I liked how they looked before I fully ordered it, and they ship in like a week according to the website. Specifically Cat Print is the one that I'm really looking forward to testing out, and if all goes well then I can have prints done pretty much immediately, so I'm not worried about that anymore. And as for stickers, I will be making sure to send some sticker designs that I want to be more glossy, more glittery, to maybe Sticker App and get those in time, because the last time I ordered from them they got to me really quickly. And other ones I'm going to try to print at home because that's what I usually do for Etsy. I print them at home on my printer. I just need to buy sticker paper because I literally ran out the day before I got the news about being in Comic-Con. So today I'm just going to do more of the tedious work, like getting the files ready for print, getting my business cards done, because I'm definitely doing that here. I'm not getting new business cards for this. It is what it is. I was really worried the other day about what kind of art I should bring, because I know that even though it's expected for fan art to be the thing that people buy at Comic-Con, it's not good if it's copyrighted material. So I've been trying to be imaginative and really figure out what I can make in time. And I don't want to overdo it with making things because I know that I already have art that is fantastic and already worth it. I might just need to do some tweaks. I'm in a better headspace about it, and I need to stop saying I hate that. And I think I have enough pieces here and in my regular folders that I can spruce up and turn into prints or stickers. And I'm actually kind of excited about it. I was thinking about it all night last night, which is not good, but I'm working on it. Okay, so since it is my first Comic-Con and I want to follow the rules, I know that a lot of people bring fan art anyway. I don't want to go over the line. So I decided that any big prints that I'm gonna make are gonna be from my historic cosplay series, which is a thing that I have been doing, where the characters are either original characters of mine or wildly different interpretations of them that I like. So the clothes are different, there's no logos, they don't look the same. It's essentially a cosplay situation. I have one that I based off of Spider-Man, but obviously this character does not exist. We've hit a bit of a snag. Everything was going pretty good yesterday, just, you know, tedious stuff, and then suddenly my computer crashed and it was like frozen the whole time, and I finally got it to get back, and now it's downloading an update for the software that I use. So I'm just gonna leave it alone and do the other tedious stuff that aren't computer based because I need to breathe. Gotta go. So like I said before, a lot of the prints that I ended up making were pieces that I had already had pre-made that I knew would probably be well received. So art that was already complete that maybe, if anything, needed a little bit of tweaking. But for the most part, it was art that was 100% already done because I didn't want to put myself through essentially overworking myself in the small amount of time that I had before Comic-Con. The only thing that I can say that I really made beforehand were the designs that I'm working on here, which is where I took my idea sketchbook and I sketched out some ideas that ended up being my stickers. A lot of these ended up being the glitter stickers that actually sold pretty well, and some other ones ended up being paper stickers that I printed at home. And some of them I just ended up scrapping. The one that I'm doing right here did not end up making it to a final version. I didn't like what it was looking like on my iPad. The other ones, however, I am still pretty proud of. And the ones that are left over, I'm going to be putting up on my Etsy. I really sped this up, but what I usually do is that I write down all of my ideas and then I choose which ones seem like they could work better in a visual way, and then I draw those out, maybe do a little bit of sketching to figure out the composition, but for the most part this is just to get the ideas down, and then I did most of the hard work on my iPad just because it was quicker than doing a traditional piece. I needed to get these done really quickly, so time was more important to me than making sure I could get everything straight and good in a traditional piece. But I'm really happy with this one because this one eventually became a design for not only a sticker but for a print and for a bookmark. Another thing about my sticker making process is that I could have very easily had made cute little designs of characters that I really liked, but like I said, I was trying to avoid licensing art. So I ended up being almost pleasantly surprised by how a lot of these ended up coming out because they looked really clean and I was really proud of them. So even if they weren't like licensed characters, people seemed to really enjoy them. I spent pretty much all day working on stickers and making sure the prints fit into the size that they're supposed to be. And originally, I know I said I wanted to make another print, but I don't think it's gonna happen anymore because I don't want to overdo it. Obviously, I want to be able to rest my wrist at least until then, and I have so many other things that I need to do. So what I'm thinking is that a lot of the sticker designs that I made can be turned into prints because like they're really cute and they can just be like a minimal print with like a flat background. And I've experimented a little bit with it and I think I know where I'm going. These are the print ideas that I have so far. Some might get kicked out. I think this one is definitely going, and this one, and definitely this one. I don't know about these two just because I feel like this one, I don't know how it'll sell. I love it, but I don't know how it'll sell. And with this one, even though it fits under my historical cosplay series, I think it might be pushing it. So I'll make the decision later. Then we have smaller prints. So I have basically small versions of a lot of them. So of this one, and this one. And then I have these two, which were sticker designs that I turned into minimal prints. Because I think, you know, swords, those are cute.
I have bookmark versions of some of the ones that look better in that size. I tried to do some other ones, but they look really wonky and it doesn't really line up. I like these a lot though. Like, I would definitely have these. I'm gonna bring my extra zines that I haven't sold off on Etsy just yet. I know I'm definitely bringing a lot of these, like the ones I specifically made for the con. These are definitely going. Some I'm still a little iffy about. I don't know how well this one would do. I love it and I love all the owls, but I don't know how well it would do. These I'm putting into a sticker pack together, and I made extra of this one by accident when I printed all of these because the printer was making a lot of misprints, and for some reason these came out perfect. So I'm gonna sell these, the ones that are left over, by themselves.
I'm outside because there's people, so it might be a glare on the computer, but I'm really excited. I spent all day fixing the stickers that I really like and turning the ones that I want to be glitter stickers into a sheet, just in case it's cheaper that way than getting them individually. I'll have to check Sticker App or Sticker Meal first. I made the ones that are in the maybe pile of the stickers section so that I can print them at home and decide from there if they're good enough prints to take to Comic-Con. I counted how many zines and old prints I have so that I can like double check later if it's worth bringing those along with me. I deleted the dagger drawing that I had because I think it makes a good sticker and it's definitely a cute mini print, but it didn't fit with the rest of it, especially since I think the sword print is so much prettier. And I still don't know if I'm gonna do my Protect Girls print, because even though I think it's wonderful and I love it very much, I have t-shirts of it, I don't know if it'll sell. I fixed the corners of my sticker that is also my bookmark and a mini print. I think it looks much better now. I counted how many zines I have left. Like I said, these stickers, so like this one and I think maybe this one, I'm not sure if they are definitely coming. And then this one, I already have a bunch of them because I printed them out recently for Etsy. So I don't know if I'm gonna make more of them or not. We will see how many I have by then. And then I have little bookmark versions of the ones that look best in that size. Looked into like the grid cubes and the thing, like the basically portable clothing rack thing, and while it could work absolutely, it was really expensive, at least the ones that I saw. I looked online and they were either really expensive, or the ones that I was really into that were like around my budget, they would take forever to ship to my location. And I don't want to take the risk of them getting here after the convention. So I've been making my own display out of cardboard, and I'm gonna spray paint it, and hopefully it'll look real nice the day of. Right now it looks kind of janky, but a lot of my display ended up just being things that I had around the house, thankfully. Next time I definitely have ideas on how that can work better, but for the most part, I'm completely okay with what everything ended up looking like. I made a little logo out of zip ties and the rest of the cardboard so that I could have it higher up, because I knew that I needed things to be higher up for people to see. I only ended up keeping 2 of those cardboards and only really using one of them. The other one was more for like to keep it sturdy or to just hide my things overnight. Whether it will be fruitful or good at all is beside the point, because I'm trying to save money. If I can get something from my mom's pharmacy, I will probably be using that, but in case I can't, then I've made a display. Ignore the silverware and the fake butterflies. Those are completely unrelated. I just figured I could spray paint them at the same time. Fun fact, this is extremely old footage. I had these Avatar Aang and Kyoshi stickers a while ago, and I didn't know if I was going to take them with me, but I figured since it was Comic-Con, it was a good way to get rid of them, and I didn't want to have to put them on my Etsy because of the whole licensing thing. I'm still debating that, but this is really just footage of me spending the entire weekend cutting out stickers that I either did make at home or that were already at home that needed to be cut, and really just trying to do the most that I could have possibly done with my time before I got my prints and my glitter stickers. I even made little tiny tags for the stickers that went into little tiny Ziploc bags because I thought it would be like a waste of my regular plastic bags and my regular things, and I actually think they're really cute. I'm going to be using them on Etsy from now on. As for the stickers that I had to print at home, the sticker paper that I usually use had actually run out at stores. I couldn't find it anywhere, so this is me testing out new paper. This one actually has a clear background to it, which is actually pretty cool. I was a little worried that they weren't going to work, but I did test them out and I'm really happy with them too. So once I start doing Etsy things again and I need to reprint them, I might just be using this paper because it's easier to get. Back to the display, my mom actually ended up finding this rack at her pharmacy that she didn't really use. It was in the back, and I ended up completely cleaning it out because it was full of like rust and dust everywhere, but it was usable. I saw its potential, so I spent the entire day cleaning it off because I knew that I could use it for display. I didn't know how just yet. And because it was the tallest thing I had in terms of display, I ended up putting the logo right on top of it. This is what it looked like before I did it with my Posca pens. And my glitter stickers ended up coming in the mail way before my prints, so I went in, individually cut them out. They ended up being less glittery than my Black Phillip glitter stickers, but I still really like how they came out. And now that I had sorted through all of my stickers, I ended up going through my house and I found these 2 frames that I could put them by category in for display. I put the prices in later. My packages are here. It is currently April 5th, which means that let's hope all of my prints are good to go because I only have 10 days till the convention, and now doing the math, because this is the first time I've done the math since, I am now full of fear. Let's hope everything's correct. I have 4 packages, mainly because I thought it would be fun if I opened all of them on the same day. Now thinking back on it, let's hope that everything is correct because I don't have time to return anything. So I originally got my glitter stickers in the mail first, which is what that old clip was referring to, because they bent it in half when they put it in the mailbox, and I had to keep it under a bunch of heavy textbooks so that it could get better. You can still see like a crease in the back, but thankfully that's just on the back paper and not the actual sticker. I already cut up a bunch of them, but I decided to keep the first one so that you guys can see what it looks like. I think it's really nice. I had to individually cut every single one of them because I ordered them all together on a sheet so that it'd be cheaper. Hack. And I think they're really nice. So now that that's out of the way, also it came in this clear plastic bag and I will be reusing that. Next we got what I assume is my tapestry. I ended up ordering a little tapestry mainly for 2 things. 1, so that I could use it on the table at Comic-Con, and 2, so that I could keep it around here for filming stuff and for filming product stuff, so that I wouldn't have to do it on the outside table because it's a clear table and it always has a glare, and I thought this would look nice. It looks nice. I ended up getting a medieval style unicorn tapestry thing, 1 because I've always wanted one, and 2 because I thought it looked really good with like the art that I'm bringing. I'm bringing mostly historical based art, so pretty happy with it. Okay, so I bought this off of Amazon. I wasn't expecting the best quality. I just needed it basically for a tablecloth, so I'm not really upset about anything. Most of it is really good, except for some reason some of the faces look really blurry. It's got all the animals on the bottom. The unicorn's right there. I had a moment of panic because I suddenly forgot what this looked like and I couldn't find it, but she's there. This I don't think is really worth opening on camera. I'm 100% positive it's the clear plastic bags, and I was right. There should be more than 100 in here. I'm not gonna count them right now. And I checked and they all are definitely bigger than the size that my biggest prints come in because I'm not gonna do any posters. So once again, we're good. And now for the scary one. It is April 10 and you're probably wondering what happened. A lot of stuff happened. A lot of stuff happened at once.
Oh no, it all went wrong!
In non-chronological order, the shipment that I got was wrong, so I had to call them and figure out what was going on. A huge power outage happened in Puerto Rico, and we were without power until literally last night, and I am still worried that it could go away at any moment. And I no longer have an assistant. The person that I thought was gonna be able to come with me had to drop out, and now I have to figure out who can come with me for 3 days right now, and I need to know before Thursday, because I have to show up on Thursday to get the passes for Comic-Con, and I have to show them the vaccine proof of both people. So I need to do that immediately. Now, as for the order, I have good news, even though that was a whole mess. So what happened when I cut the cameras to go check on the print was that they had gotten my print wrong. So I had ordered 2 things. The first one was the 20 sheets for Comic-Con, so the prints. And then the next day, I ended up ordering in slightly different paper, so a little cheaper versions of the main print so that I could have them up for display. And, you know, I wouldn't ruin them with like the clips or people touching them. That was like a last minute decision. It was cheap anyway, so it didn't really matter. But I think they messed up both of the orders somehow. It's still a mystery to me how this happened. But when I got the original package that I was trying to open up on screen, at first I thought, oh, maybe they sent me the display ones first because it was less stuff to print, so that would make sense. And because I looked at it and it was 7 sheets instead of 20, and I didn't order that much either for the display ones. It should have been less than 7. So I was already confused, and I double checked the order confirmation number and the tracking number, and this was supposed to be the prints that I had ordered, but it was 7 sheets instead of 20, and it was like slightly off, and I was really confused. I ended up calling them, and they didn't answer because they weren't in the office at the time, and I was freaking out. I had what can at best be described as a mild panic attack in this bedroom. And then when they did finally contact me, they were like, hey, we're really sorry about that. That's weird. It is possible that the rest of your stuff is in the next box that you're going to be receiving. And I didn't know how to handle that because on one hand, you know, if this was a few weeks ago, that would have been okay because I could have calmly checked the other box and been like, okay, the rest of the stuff is here, or XYZ isn't here, can you guys send that to me anyway? But I was like, I don't know, because since I don't know what's in the other box and this is all kind of a problem, I either need a refund or I need you guys to resend the package. And they ended up doing that. They told me, don't worry about it. We have reprinted everything and we've sent it to you by Friday. And it ironically got here before the other box did. And I'm very thankful for it because when I did get the other box, not everything that I asked for was in it. So that's fantastic. So even though they did mess up the order, the customer service on that was very good because I managed to get all of the stuff anyway, but now I have extra and I am a little worried about overstock. So I'm just hopeful that I sell out a bunch of stuff, maybe. That's very, you know, very positive thinking on that considering it's my first convention. And if not, I'm going to try to sell off the others either on Etsy or I'm going to try to find more festivals or conventions that I can go to for the rest of the year because I got a lot of stuff. I haven't even counted it. I spent all day yesterday slicing everything and getting it perfect, and then today I'm going to try to count everything, do inventory, figure out which prints are pretty enough to go, which ones should be display only, and try to package some of them in my plastic bag so that I can just easily hand those out at the convention. As for the power outage literally happened like all week, and so that really set me back a few days because a lot of my days were spent going to get ice for the frozen stuff or helping mom get a new thing for the generator at Home Depot, or trying to get food that wouldn't get nasty in a few days because we really didn't know when we were going to get the power, and we literally just got it back last night. So I'm gonna charge everything, and I'm gonna try to do what I can do today to make the rest of the week easier, because I don't even want to think about the assistant thing until I am calm enough to try to see who can help me. I also need to figure out what to do with my Tapestry mobile account, because, you know, I want to be able to accept money that isn't cash, but I want to have that set up. But when I was trying to do that literally the day before the power outage, I couldn't get into my account, and I had to call them, and then there was no power anywhere, so it was kind of a moot point. So I'm gonna try to figure out a lot of things today. All right, I counted everything and I put them by, you know, each image so that it would be easier for me to count. And from what I can tell, some of them are obviously not even, because since they got reshipped and I didn't have some of them in the original order, I have more of this one and this one than I do of any of the other prints. I have more of this bookmark than any of the other ones. And oddly enough, all of the mini prints are the same number. So that's that. I took some of them and put them in this binder so that people can flip through them. And now I'm gonna separate the best looking ones and get them pre-packed for the convention. This is me essentially doing a mock-up of what my display would eventually look like. I did not have a table in the exact dimensions of the table at Comic-Con. I didn't know how it was going to look. So I ended up doing a little mock-up of the things that I had with me just to see what the table could look like so that it wouldn't be something that I had to figure out on the spot. I ended up displaying my stickers like this, and on those frames, I put the pins that I did actually make in that little bin. They don't stay there for the rest of the convention anyway. A lot of this did not stay. This is the jumping off point. Did I also mention that I was trying to apply to like a bunch of jobs and zines while I was also doing this? Because I ended up drawing this during the blackout just so that I had time to apply to a zine that I did not get into. So here's the cute little time lapse of part of it. All right, so it is April 11th. Look at my hands. I have everything packed away and I know exactly where everything is. I have the rolly backpack full of pretty much all the stuff I need for the convention. These are where I have all of the prints, and anything that can stay flat is in there. I have pretty much sticky notes of not only everything that's in everything so that I know exactly where everything is, I also have it in that little Wookiee notepad. And the blue sticky notes are, you know, like my inventory and everything. The yellow sticky notes are important things that I need to remember, and like where everything is again, and where my table is, and phone numbers. And then the purple sticky note are the stuff I still have to do. I feel good knowing that it's only one sticky note though. I have the fire extinguisher. I have the cardboards just in case. The display stuff is in the garage, not including my little logo. And pretty much all I have to do right now is figure out PayPal and Tapestry mobile thing for non-cash related transactions, and how I'm gonna get an assistant. But we press on. Didn't know what to do with all these packing peanuts, and it felt like a waste, so I'm keeping them. I have things to draw that are not Comic-Con related that I need to get on like now if I want to be done before it's time to get to the hotel. Much lighter note, I am currently packing up all of the stuff that I need in my little mini suitcase and doing laundry at the same time, kill two birds with one stone. And I realized that I forgot to mention that I can't cosplay at this Comic-Con, unfortunately. What I mean by that is that this particular Comic-Con, my first ever Comic-Con, so I don't know how strict they are with certain rules, do not allow the vendors to be wearing tank tops, shorts, or flip-flops, which kind of sucks because that's usually my go-to clothing in this environment. But that also means that most of my easier cosplays are out the window. In other words, for 3 days, I could have been 3 different Moanas. And they did say that you could cosplay as long as your outfit is approved by the members of the location that we're in, but considering those are their rules for what you can't wear as casual clothing, I don't really think they're gonna let me dress as casual Moana, regular Moana, or Chief Moana. So either way, that is out the window. I also do not remember the weather at Comic-Con. I remember that I used to wear my Captain America hoodie every time I used to go to Comic-Con because I didn't cosplay in high school. And I don't remember if I had to take it off because of the sweltering heat or if I just kept it on because it was a little chilly. And I don't want to risk it and wear something really heavy and then be sweating the entire time that I'm there. So the Hobbit costume is out, even though it doesn't even really count as a Hobbit costume because I still don't have any pointy ears for it. So that's gone. Basically, I'll just be wearing the 3 geekiest t-shirts I could find that weren't so casual that it was like unbearable. So those are coming. Maybe next time I will get to be Moana for 3 days.
I still need an assistant, and it is stressing me out a lot. Now, I want to clarify that it's not that nobody wanted to help me. I had multiple friends reach out and ask if they could help, but due to Comic-Con rules, I needed the same person to be there all 3 days because of their vaccine policy. In fact, one of my friends that really wanted to come and help couldn't go because she couldn't have Saturday off at work. And the friend that did eventually come and help me, I was originally too scared to ask because he had already bought tickets. But he was super supportive of it, and he kind of saw it as a positive because he couldn't get tickets to Saturday, so now he could be there all 3 days. And he said he'd love to help me again next time, so hopefully it won't be as stressful.
I got someone to come help me, and I'm very excited about it. That means I have absolutely nothing else to do for the rest of the day except pack and wait for tomorrow, which is the day that we get to set up, and then the convention happens on the 15th. Very excited and very scared. So basically, I went through my list of everything and I moved some stuff around so that it could be more comfortable. For example, I'm no longer carrying the fire extinguisher. I put it in my suitcase like a normal person. And so everything that's in pink is the stuff that's been moved around, but I have it because I put little pink dots in front of every word to make sure that I had everything already pre-packed, except for the things that obviously I would have to carry by myself, like the little basket here, my logo, the extra cardboard, and the rack that's outside. And I have extra cardboard just in case they don't allow me to use the rack for any reason. I have no idea why, but just in case, I like to be prepared. This is going in the car if I don't use it. Then I have this yellow sticky note, which is where, because I'm insane, and I have this mini tote bag that I take with me everywhere. So anything that's small enough for me to bring the day of the convention, I have them, because that way I can have, like, I don't know, deodorant, my charger, extra pens, cardboard. They're all going in there for the day of. This is just to like take it there with me and have everything there. I will see you guys tomorrow, hopefully, if I'm not too much of a coward to film what I'm doing. So we didn't end up getting on the road until around 3-ish, which means that by the time I got to San Juan, it was around 4. So I only had from 6 to 8 to set up for the next day. And thankfully, it wasn't that much different than what I had mocked up. And then every day of the convention, I had to be there at least 30 minutes before so I could set up again.
It's either going to be incredible or it's going to be awful. But either way, it will be.
So it wasn't necessarily that I was a coward, but I was absolutely not taking as many videos and photos as I thought I was. This is day 1, and day 1 was definitely the slowest of all of the days. And I wore my little Wonder Woman shirt. By the end of the day, I ended up changing my display a little bit just to make it easier on me, and I already ran out of business cards. I think I did more thumbs up in this one weekend than I have ever done in my life. And like I said, the first day really clued me in on some things, so I ended up making more flyers that night. By the time day 2 started, I definitely tried to change some things. I put my display rack on that side so people could see it when they went to get in line for food, and I ended up moving things around. By then, I knew what was convenient to keep with me, and I made more signs for everything. And I knew Saturday was going to be rough, so I brought extra snacks. I even brought my extra tape so I could tape everything down to the table so nothing would fall off throughout the day. And by Sunday, which is what this footage is from, I ended up making even more signs. I moved the small amount of pins that I had out of the little basket. I put them directly on the table. I taped everything down again. This one I was much more ready for.
I even put my box of clips under the binder so that it was more elevated so people could see it closer, and I actually do think it helped. I ended up getting more people to flip through it than I usually did. By the third day, I had already sold out of 4 different stickers. I made a few print sales, my bookmarks were selling, and I'm very happy to say that after having 15 zines, I now only have 3 left. After I got home from Comic-Con, I ended up disinfecting everything and washing everything, and I did inventory, so let's see what we have left. Now, counting what I used for the display, I have 10 of these Ask Me About My Cosplay stickers left. 3 of these Witches and Their Familiars stickers, which I was pretty surprised about. 11 of these Let's Talk About Cartoons glitter stickers. I only have 3 left of my little vampire girl, and yes, I know the sun is glaring, it's ironic. 6 left of these I Have Many Superhero Opinions comic. Only 2 left of my Women with Swords sticker. I brought 16 of these Live Deliciously Goat glitter stickers to the convention, and now I only have 1. I have 9 of these Hobbit Core sticker packs left, which I thought was a bit surprising because on Etsy they're one of my top sellers. I took the extra swords that I had made with me, and I have 8 left. Might just sell off all of them in 1 pack on Etsy maybe, because I don't want to print more. Like I said before, I was pleasantly surprised by how popular my Mythological Maze scene was. It definitely sold better than it did in my online shop, and I sold 12 out of 15. I literally only have 2 of these little pins left. Prints were a bit harder to sell, so now I know that. I have 10 of these left. 9 of this one of the vampire, and as for the mini print version of it, I have 7 left. Even if people didn't buy it, they were still people that were really interested in it, so I'm definitely keeping these. 10 of this one. As for the mini print, I have 8 left, and people seemed really interested in the t-shirt design version of it, so they did go to my TeePublic and I made a sale. 9 of the Spider-Verse OC print and 8 of the mini print version of it. 9 left of this one, but I did not have a mini print version of it. Going forward, I am keeping my prints small. I have 9 left of this Women with Swords mini print. This little lady was my first print sale the entire convention, and I'm really glad that I ended up printing her. I put it up on a poll on Instagram. I have 7 left, and she was my most popular design. And my bookmarks sold really well, and I'm going to put the rest of them on Etsy. I only have 2 left of the Artemisia one and 9 left of my Women with Swords. So the second I found out that I was going to be at Comic-Con, I obviously became immediately overwhelmed because I'm just like that. And I started up by looking at different videos that I could find on YouTube on how they got ready for Comic-Con, and I realized that a lot of it did not apply to me because I got in as a last-minute entry. I could simply not do a lot of the things that those videos were doing because I didn't have time to order things. I couldn't get a banner that high up in time. I definitely could not get grid cubes in time that weren't really expensive. So I had to kind of make do a lot. I will be linking the videos that I watched that I thought were really helpful in the description box, because some of them clued me in on things that I hadn't even thought of, and it helped me make my list of things to take with me that you see in my deranged little sticky notes in the binder. So I'm definitely linking those. Those are really good. However, I think after my first Comic-Con, I did make a list of things that I can do better at. So after Comic-Con, I can definitely say that all of the videos that I watched were correct. Elevation is key. People do not like to look down at the tables. And I guess I thought that that was more of a suggestion because when I went to Comic-Con, I guess as an artist, I was always trying to find their booths and looking down at the tables to see what they have, even if I didn't buy anything. And I guess that's not the case. People like to see something really high up, I'm assuming because they don't want to bump into people. So elevation is key. I realized on the 3rd day that after I had put my leftover clips and my little sketchbook under my binder to sort of raise it, that more people started flipping through it. So that's 1. Number 2, I don't know why I thought it was a good idea to put individual QR codes everywhere. I had a QR code for my Etsy, I had a QR code for my Instagram, for my TeePublic site, when really I could have just done one QR code for just my Linktree or something. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea. So that's a next time situation. Number 3, way more business cards.
than you think you actually need. I ran out of business cards literally the first day. And while that was, I guess, good for the self-esteem, not good for Saturday. I ended up having to go back into the hotel room and panically try to get new little business card flyers that I had, because I did make some in anticipation for running out of business cards. I just thought that wouldn't happen until day 3, so I had to scramble to make a bunch of them, and I ended up cutting them out before Comic-Con so that I could have them, and I still ran out by the 3rd day. So way more business cards than you think you ever need is a good idea. Bring your drives, bring your little pen drives, your little USB drives, whatever, because I didn't bring them with me because I had already printed everything. I didn't think it was necessary. And then when I realized that I no longer had any more business cards, I had to go down to the hotel business center to try to print them out. And that was free, that's no problem. The problem was, however, that I couldn't access my Gmail account because the computer at the hotel kept trying to verify everything, and they were like, oh, we've sent a code to your phone so that you can access your Gmail account, but I never got it because my phone's old as all hell, and I was panicking because it wouldn't let me in. Even though I kept putting in the correct password, Gmail like barred me out for like the entire time that I was there. I had to get onto the other computer and go through there, and then I found out a way that I could get in because it had like, for some reason the other computer didn't have this. Whenever I tried to do another way to verify my account, it always like blocked me. On the other computer, it had like a QR code thing where you could access your phone and then click yes that it's you. So I was able to verify it there and do. I could have saved myself so much time if I just had the extra flyers, like a PDF of them on a drive, so that I could just flip it into the computer, print them out, and leave. But no, I had to be there for like an entire hour trying to figure out how to get into my own Gmail account, because Google security is the most serious thing in the world. It really is. Speaking of more, definitely more stickers. I brought a certain amount of stickers because I didn't want to overdo it, but I ran out of 4 of my stickers, which is a good metric for success, but I ran out of 4 of them. My more popular stickers ran out very quickly. I think, you know, having a few more of those could have been really helpful for sales. Sort of along the same lines of more than you think you need, I definitely need to bring more singles next time. I didn't run out, but I was close. And I had, when I went to the bank, I got $100 in singles, because I thought there's no way that I'm gonna be anywhere near this number of needing to break change. Incorrect. I was almost out on the 3rd day, and I ended up having to break my own 20. By the end of the 3rd day, I only had 27 singles. So definitely next time I'm gonna break $200. I don't care. It might be overkill, but I'm doing it. Or at least 150. I don't know what number I'm on anymore. But the next thing that I've sort of discovered was that I was originally worried that I couldn't cosplay something that had too many layers, because I was scared that it was gonna be really hot, because, you know, this is a very hot country. We live on an island in the Caribbean. It's hot all the time. My go-to clothing is short sleeves or tank tops and shorts. So I was really worried about it being too hot if I did that, and I was really sad about not being able to cosplay. But then when I was there, I don't know if it's because it was actually raining outside, but it was really cold, and I put on my jacket, not coat. I put on my jacket on and like my hoodie on several times throughout the day, because there were times when it was like colder than usual, and if I had been in a Moana cosplay the entire time, it would have been unbearable to sit there with my little Moana cosplay on the entire time. So the Hobbit costume, oddly enough, seems like it could have been a good idea, because it was really cold, and I do want to cosplay next time, because I think having the cosplay on, or at least being able to participate in that as a vendor would be a good way to interact with people coming to your booth, and you can talk about it, especially if it like aligns with the art that you brought with you, because I definitely had, you know, historical based art, and dressing like a little hobbit would have been fun. It would have tied in to having this goddamn tapestry on my table. The next thing that I would say is I had to have, I don't know if this is a common thing in other, you know, Comic-Con / convention locations, but at least where I was, I needed to get a license to be a merchant there, like a vendor license situation. Mine is temporary. It will eventually go away unless I redo it. But I got one in time. It was like a time crunch. I got one in time. And I had to have it on the table at all times. It said it in the little contract that you sign before you go, and it said that we had to have it with us at all times in case there was like an inspection or something. I had put mine in the same binder as I had the art samples, and you know, by the time I realized it was really annoying to have it there because people would flip through it and they would like flip to the next page and they'd see it, and then by the time that was a thing, I was like, I'm not gonna move it out because I don't want to damage it. I don't have another place to put it. It's staying in the binder. Next time, what I think I'm gonna do is that since we have to keep copies of it, I'm just gonna take my copy and I'm gonna laminate it so that I can have it on the table without anyone having to flip through it every time they look through the binder. So that's one. That's more related, I guess, to my situation. I don't know if they do that in any other Comic-Con, but if they do, don't put it in the binder. It's very annoying. People flip through it thinking it's art, and it's like, sir, that's a merchant license. You don't have to look at it that hard. Thank you. I know fan art is a tricky subject when it comes to Comic-Con because, you know, there's licensing situations, but fan art at Comic-Con is king. I was definitely really surprised and excited to know that people wanted to buy my original art. And there are definitely vendors that only bring original art, and it works. But in terms of Comic-Con, you know, people are trying to find things that they know. So if it's not necessarily fan art, it definitely helps if your art is somewhat related to the convention that you're going to. Like if you're going to a Renaissance fair, having art that has similar vibes to that would really work. I wouldn't bring like sci-fi art to a Renaissance fair. So I think the reason why my art at least was able to sell, even if it wasn't just fan art, was because it had a similar appeal. But fan art is definitely king. I had people come to my booth to specifically ask me if I had fan art for a certain property, which is a little scary because I don't want to have licensed art. I don't want to rely on licensed art because, you know, it is a tricky situation. I don't want to get sued if I put the rest of it on Etsy or something. So it's a fine line to walk, especially if you're going to Comic-Con, because licensed art, fan art at Comic-Con is expected. People do want to have fan art, but it's a tricky line. And I don't want to cross it, but at the same time, it's Comic-Con. Where else can I share art like this? So the only thing I really had at Comic-Con that I would argue was full-on fan art was that I had Avatar, Aang, and Kyoshi heads stickers that I had already made before the convention. I didn't make it for the convention. I made it for myself, and then I realized I could sell these off and get rid of them. And they sold like hotcakes. Those were the 2 stickers that sold out the fastest. So it's like a weird situation where it's like, I don't want to have to do that, but it sells. So I guess it's a personal discretion sort of situation. I think next time if I do Comic-Con, I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to rely on fan art, but I will be bringing things that I know will sell out quicker, I guess would be the best way. Because now I know what people like and don't like. I looked at what prints sold more and which ones didn't, and at least now I have a better understanding. Another thing is that I put the prices on literally everything. everything that you could look at had a price on it. I had the little price tags on the binder pages themselves so that when people were flipping through it, they could see how much something is worth. I had the prices on the little glass frames that I had for the stickers on every individual sticker. I had the prices on the rack where people could walk next to me and see the bigger prints. I had the prices right on top of them. People still came up to me to ask me what the price was. So I need to either find a way to communicate that better, or I just need to get over it and answer the question every single time, because that's like a thing. The first day, I was like, people keep asking me things. Maybe I didn't communicate that correctly. And so the second and third day, I made extra signs for literally everything. I put sold out on all of the stickers that I sold out of on the frames that I had them in. I put price tags on the table itself, so not just the binders and not just the frames. I put my ATH Móvil account number in plain red letters and numbers right there on the front of the table, so that if somebody wanted to pay me in card and not cash, they could just look down and see it. People still asked. So I think going forward next time, I'm gonna make it bigger and louder, and if people still ask me, I'm just gonna have to get over it. Because people do not want to read the little tags for some reason. And I feel kind of bad about it, because I would, like, sometimes I felt bad about it because people would come up to me, they'd look at the frames and they'd go, hey, do you still have that little dagger sticker? I really like it. And it's like, ma'am, there's a sold out sticky note right on top of, how did you even see it? So there's that. Next up is food. I was really scared that they were gonna be really strict about food, because it said all over the PDF file that I had read that you could not bring outside food, that they were gonna check if you had outside food, that they didn't want you to bring outside food to your booth, that if you were gonna eat, you were gonna have to eat there at Comic-Con or bring snacks or something. And that was a really big worry for me, because you're basically there the entire day. I don't want to leave the booth for an extended amount of time so that I can go in line to buy like chicken nuggets or something. And I don't want to have to spend money at the convention that I'm trying to make money at. And so I had only brought snacks with me in my backpack. I brought like chips or cereals so that I could eat them throughout the day. And I understand why they don't want you to bring outside food. They don't want you to stink up the place. They don't want your food to touch the merchandise. We're in COVID times. I understand, but they weren't as strict as I thought they would be. So next time I'm definitely bringing heftier food, because I survived those 3 days off of chips and cereal. And when I say cereal, I mean like those little tiny like cereal packs that you can get at like the continental breakfast. I would get those, and it wasn't fun. I would at least have liked to have put like a salad or something in the backpack that I was taking with me, so that I could just eat it like when it got slow, because that's what I would usually do. I would wait until the crowds kind of dispersed, and I would like put my mask down and like shove a chip in my mouth and put it back up. Not the healthiest food for 3 days, and that's one of the things that a lot of those videos had originally said. They were like, pack healthy foods. I didn't know how strict they were going to be about what foods I could take. I definitely could have planned that better. I did, however, have water every single day with me, and that was a good idea. Bring a lot of water, and maybe even just bring like a cup of fruit with you or something so that you can just easily chew on it, because that's another thing. I don't want to have a heavy meal or anything. I just want to have food that I can grab at lunchtime. I sneezed earlier, and now I feel like my nose looks really pink in the camera. Oh, and a rule that I just thought of now that I did not put on this list. Everyone's always saying in literally every single video that you should talk to the people around you. I was in a corner booth, so the only people that I had were on this side, and I didn't really get to talk to them until like day 3, because I was always a little late. And when I say a little late, I mean is that we had from, depending on when the day started, so if the day started at 9, you had from 7:30 to 8:30 to get there. I was always getting there like 8:20-ish, which is great for me, you know, you get enough sleep, I guess. But I was never there early enough to talk to people. I was never there early enough to talk to people. And it made me really sad because I would always have to like plan around when I would get to speak to people. And I wish that I had done that. I think it's because it was a combination of me not getting there when it was like free hours to talk, and between me being super nervous about leaving my booth ever, which doesn't make any sense because I had help with me, but I was always like nervous. And so I think next time I should branch out and talk to more people, because on the third day I was able to get there early enough to finally do what I had been thinking about doing. By the time I was schmoozing the people on this side, I couldn't go over there because the doors were opening, but I wish I had. And I managed to get business cards from other artists. I'm probably gonna journal with them later because I tend to do that to like document what I was doing, and those are like easy pieces that I can put in my journal. Beside the point, the second to last rule that I had already written down is that tell people you're a local artist. I think a lot of people really warmed my heart at Comic-Con because they would ask me like if I made all of the art, and they would ask how I felt about the pieces and why I made them. And it's not something that I actually expected would happen. For the most part, a lot of the conversations that I would have were like people would buy something, or they would look at my binder, not buy anything really, and they'd be like, oh, you have really nice art, which, you know, I appreciate the compliment. But there were a few times where a person would be really excited by the art that I had made, and they would make sure to tell me that. There was a woman who bought $46 worth of merch, and I still think about her because she asked me about my art. She was really excited about all my art. She wanted to find me on social media. She asked me about my website. She essentially said that I was like really talented and that she wants to support local artists. And we had a whole conversation because she wanted to know about why I make art the way that I do, or what my inspirations are. And a few other people were similar to her, and they were talking about how they want to support local artists, and that's what they come to Comic-Con for and to festivals for. And so telling people and talking about my art, I think not only helped me make sales, but, you know, it helped me connect to future customers or just people who like my art in general. So that was something that I would suggest you do if you're gonna go to Comic-Con, like to tell people how you made it, if they're interested. Obviously, don't bombard people, but you know, it was really nice. And finally, my last, I guess, rule for myself is I need to figure out transportation. Now, with the display, like I've said throughout the entire video, I had to come up with a lot of things off the top of my head in order to get stuff there on time. I made the cardboard stand thing because I knew I couldn't get grid cubes. The rack I brought from my mom's pharmacy, you know, all that, yada, yada, yada. But in terms of transporting them, that was a whole situation. We had to bring in the rack, the cardboards, the rolling backpack, my 2 boxes, my logo, because I left that separate because you can't put it in the box, and my tote bag because we had a bunch of different display stuffs packed throughout. And oh, and the little baskets, because I had a little mini basket for the pins originally, and then it became like my trash basket. And then I had the tiny basket that I put my zines in, which is originally from my room because I use it to put my sketchbooks in there. I had to dehouse them while I went to Comic-Con. And honestly, it wasn't even that much stuff compared to what other people brought. I was packing minimal, but taking it everywhere and carrying it everywhere was kind of a whole ordeal, especially at the end of the day, because at the end of every, you know, day at Comic-Con, you would essentially take your valuables with you. So I would take my prints and you would leave the rest of it. I would leave the display there because there's no way I'm lugging that every day. But I would see people out with these like giant rolling collapsible things where they would just put everything in and they'd leave. They'd walk all the way over to their like car, put it in the back and leave. I had to do a whole assembly line every time I had to depack everything. I saw so many people with like plushies that had those, and I definitely need to figure out where they got it, because next time I need it, especially since we also needed to get a fire extinguisher for our booths. It's in the little contract. I don't know if everybody did it, but I got one and I never used it. So carrying it out everywhere was always like this like heavy, well, it wasn't really that heavy, but it was like cumbersome situation. So that's the thing that I'm gonna be doing next time. I have to get a collapsible thingy. And like I had said throughout the entire video, the things that I didn't sell, I will be putting up on Etsy. I have all of the stickers that, you know, didn't get sold out in here. I don't know if I'm going to be reprinting the ones that did just yet. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe I'll put like a poll or something on Instagram by the time you guys see this. But I'm going to be putting them up. And I'm gonna put up the prints too. I don't know how just yet, because I don't think I have enough envelopes for shipping them of that size, but I'm also gonna be putting those up on Etsy. For those of you that don't know what a zine is, it's kind of, I've heard people say it's short for magazine, but it's, at least the one that I have, is not really a zine in the traditional sense. I did print it out. I guess it's more like an art book. I just call it a zine because it's easier. But the zine that I originally printed was a art challenge that I gave myself in May. 2 years ago, I started this thing called Mythological May, and it was really fun. I would essentially draw every single day characters based off of mythology tropes, and I would do it in my sketchbook. This year, I think I've been really overworked from March to April, and I just don't think it's wise for me to do Mythological May, just because I want to take care of myself and my little art hands. So I'm not going to be doing it. However, I don't know if it'll be up by the time this is out, but I will be making my prompt list this year anyway, so that other people can participate. And I want to put them up on my Instagram. So like I'll put them up on my story. I've been doing that this entire time, but I think that's just gonna have to be the focus of Mythological May this year, because I can't personally participate, but I still want to be able to have a list for other people to use, just because I think it's really fun. And hopefully the turnout will be better than last year. Last year is kind of when the Instagram algorithm went downhill for me, at least, and I feel like no one saw it. And I want to see people's art really bad. So I'm going to post it and I'm going to talk about it on TikTok and see what happens. But I'm going to do it, and hopefully turnout will be better because I want to see people's art. And so that's the plan for May. I won't be participating because it's my rest time, but I would love to see other people. Also, he had these little like enamel pins of her that, frankly, now looking at this, I should have bought at the time, because I think they're really cute, and I could have put them on my freaking tote bag, and I didn't think about it one bit. I don't know how to end this video, and I don't want to drink this anymore. Bye.